Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Lazy Gunner here, back again with this month's gaming PC build. So, after an overwhelming number of requests to do an Intel build, here it finally is. All links to buy everything you see in this video are down below. Using these links will also help out the channel at no extra cost. Kicking it off with the CPU, we're using Intel's latest 8th generation i5 8400 CPU. In all my other builds, I've gone with the Ryzen 5 series, and it's for one simple reason: the price to performance ratio is unbeatable. Well, until now. That's because the i5 8400 retails for $200, which is the exact same price as the Ryzen 5 1600. So the big question is, how does it stack up with the 1600? Well, from my own testing as well as every single other benchmark that I've seen, the i5 beats the 1600 in almost every single game. Stick around for the gaming benchmarks between these two later on in the video. I recommend the CPU not only because it's powerful right out of the box, but also because it's very future-proof and enables for various upgrades in this build. The processor also comes with Intel stock cooler, which means you don't have to spend a cent on an aftermarket cooler. The only problem is trying to get a hold of one of these, as they are in shortage, so I'll make sure to keep those links updated in the description. With the new 8th generation line of CPUs, they're only supported in the Z370 motherboards. So for the motherboard, I've gone with the MSI A-Pro Z370. It's not only the cheapest option available, coming in at $120 on Amazon, but it's probably the best bang for your buck considering the features you get. It's optimized for cryptocurrency mining, it's got 4 DDR4 slots, an M.2 NVMe slot, and 2 PCIe slots, not only for AMD's Crossfire, but also for Nvidia's SLI, so you can have 2 GPUs running on this system at the same time, which is pretty cool. The motherboard is even capable of quick charging your smartphone, so if your phone supports that, that's something to consider. At this price range of $800, I usually fit in a set of 16GB RAM modules, but considering how high these prices have gone, I had to go with 8GB. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with 8GB and it can easily handle all these games, which is why I've gone with the G-Skill Ripjaws V series that comes in a price of $108 on Newegg, but it also has a speed of 3200 MHz, which actually makes a difference. So my recommendation is to buy 8GB now and add another 8GB when the RAM prices come down, hopefully. For storage, I'm using the classic Western Digital 1TB hard drive, and at only $50 you can't really complain. It's very reliable and I've been using one for many years with no problems. You can also of course add an SSD as low as $60 to install your OS, as well as some applications for faster performance, but of course it's optional. Now, moving on to the graphics cards, you have a few options. If you're looking to game at 1080p over 60 FPS on high settings, then the GTX 1060 6GB version or AMD's RX 580 8GB version is your best bet. For 1440p gaming, the GTX 1070 and 1070 Ti is the way to go. For 4K gaming, you could get away with the 1080, but of course the 1080 Ti is recommended. That being said, for this build, I've gone with the GTX 1060 6GB version because right now 1080p gaming is that sweet spot, especially at this $800 budget. At around $270, the EVGA GTX 1060 6GB version is the way to go. It's a very compact and small card that packs quite the punch. Here are some gaming benchmarks using this card, as well as the i5 8400, but also the Ryzen 5 1600 for a comparison. Moving on to the power supply, I've gone with the EVGA 500W PCU. It's nothing special, but for $38 it can definitely power up this build without any problems. I know it might seem like I'm cheaping out on this power supply, but that's far from the truth and it's actually pretty good. Last but not least is the case. Now, I spent a lot of time choosing a case because I want a case that reflects on the PC build, which is why I've gone with the Phanteks P300 tempered glass case. It's got a very clean design that isn't too obnoxious or up in your face. It's got all the features you expect from a premium case, such as dedicated cable management and dust filters. At $60, you really can't go wrong. With that being said, that wraps up this month's Intel build. If I add everything up seen in this video, the build comes to a total of around $830, which is not too bad. Of course, depending on when you're watching this, the prices may come lower or higher, so that is something to consider also. I could have easily made a build with the GTX 1060 for far less, but it won't look as cool or have the same features, and definitely not as future-proof as this build. For $160 more, you can simply add a GTX 1070, which is perfect for 1440p gaming and still under that $1,000 bracket. So what did you guys think of this build? Tell me down below, and also be sure to visit my kit page as you can view this build as well as all my other builds and buy everything off Amazon with one click. I'll also update the links in the description regularly in case they go out of stock or the prices are too high. Make sure to smack that like button, and as always, thanks for watching.